My goal is to provide people with practices that can help them get through their daily lives, to provide them the ability to be present and appreciate the good moments, and to help them have the ability to be calm and conscious through the challenging moments. Hello everyone, my name is Lord Fernandez and I am a mindfulness teacher. Welcome to my channel. Join me in this video as we explore a mindfulness practice. For a lot of us, our lives tend to actually feel like an endless stream of moments. We experience an event, which is followed by another event, and yet another event. And those events turn into days, and those days turn into years, and those years turn into decades, and those decades turn into a lifetime. And for a lot of us, we don't pay attention to what is happening around us. The old and the children around us would actually sometimes tell us, "Hey, stop. Why don't you smell the roses?" But we don't pay attention to whatever they're saying. It seems like we are sleepwalking through our lives and march on until we face death. Throughout our lives, we all hear warnings about the unfortunate consequences of not being able to stop when you are in motion. Don't text and drive. The other thing that we will actually hear even as children is before you cross the street, pause, look left and right, and see if there's an oncoming vehicle. How many lives have been lost by people who are not paying attention and who do not know how to stop whatever they were doing when it is important for them to actually look. But death is not the only consequence of not paying attention. It can also cause havoc in our lives. How many of us actually have angry arguments with a stranger or with a loved one because we were not paying attention to a fast-moving emotion like anger, which shoots up from our heart into our lips, and we say something mean, or we say something that we didn't really mean. I think we all know the importance of being able to pause. As much as it is important for us to go and drive towards our goals, it is also equally important for us to learn when it is the time for us to take a moment and stop. In this video, I will show you how to take a pause by taking mindful breaths. Mindful breath is a practice that is simple. It is really just paying attention to your breath as you inhale and as you exhale. So why don't we try it? Let's practice mindful breaths. As you listen to my voice, pay attention to your inhale and observe as you exhale. Pay attention to the air as it enters your lungs, inhale. Pay attention to the air as it exits your lungs, exhale. Observe your chest as it expands, inhale. Observe your chest as it contracts, exhale. So how can this practice of mindful breaths help you? I can actually cite examples in my life where I've used it. Mindful breaths can actually help whenever you transition from your busy day and as you go home. As you turn that knob on the door, take mindful breaths, 3 or 4, so that when you get in, you have a fresh perspective and you leave the busyness of the day behind you. Another example is when you're transitioning between meetings. Imagine you had a very challenging conversation with a client. Before you move on to the next meeting with your colleague or your manager or your employee, take mindful breaths so that any residual energy from the challenging meeting before can be left behind. Another way that I've been able to use mindful breaths is to silence the nagging voice in my head whenever I fail. There's always that voice in my head that tells me that I'm not enough. But when I take mindful breaths, 3 or 4, whenever I fail or whenever I remember a failure that I've had in the past, that voice gets silenced. So I ask you to start this practice at this moment. Let's do it again. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Do it again without my guidance. Thank you for joining me in this mindful moment. See you again in the next video for another mindfulness practice.